Junk food supper.
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 Food supper. Junk food supper.
supper.
Junk food 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 supper.
Welcome to Junk Food Supper, the internet's #1 cinnamon roll French toast podcast. This is Sean Byron, joined as always by Parker Bowman in the 559. This week, we'll be chatting about the 1978 movie Message from Space, but before that, how you doing there, Bowman?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been having a good week. Most importantly, my music league numbers are pretty good so far. We're only in round 2 of the new league, but I'm doing pretty good.
You're doing pretty good considering the massive faux pas that you just made in this most recent round of trash-talking Kraftwerk.
Yeah. I've been trash-talking these sons of bitches for a long time. In the Virtual Pros League, they pop up every other fucking category. I'm getting sick of their fucking music. And then this song is the most annoying fucking song I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, to be fair, the round was annoying fucking songs.
I must have misread that. I should have given them votes then.
No, man. I think this Kraftwerk hatred is entirely unfounded, coming from a guy that loves the Ramones, the most repetitive and simplistic band in rock history.
Yeah, that's why they're good.
Well, get behind the most repetitive and simplistic band in German techno history.
No. Repetitive, simplistic music only sounds good if you got a dude who is playing a guitar that sounds like a fucking chainsaw. That's when this style is good. Not when you have 7 dudes with 8 keyboards going beep bop boop beep boop bloop.
But hear me out. They're all wearing the same suits.
Well, okay.
Now it does sound like the Ramones, actually.
All right. That's pretty close.
Well, hear me out, though. Every member of the band is only capable of playing one chord, it seems like. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. And Dee Ramone was German. So maybe you're onto something here.
I saw Kraftwerk play once in Vegas, and it was a good experience because I don't know if Vegas is still like this. I think it probably is, but this was a period of time, 10, 15 years ago or something, where it seemed like Vegas was just chock full of showrooms that needed to be filled. And so there were just acts coming through all the time. Tickets were cheap and plentiful. I saw Kraftwerk for, I think, $30. I guess it's not for everybody. Now that I think back to it, the experience of sitting there watching 7 elderly gentlemen strike a single key on a keyboard for 90 minutes.
It's like in a assembly line of musicianship. Just one guy doing one thing over and over.
Now, if you whittled it down to just one of those 7 guys, I think what you would have would appeal to you, because then you'd effectively just have the Eyes Wide Shut soundtrack.
Yeah, that would actually, that's good. That's good music. Just those 2 notes over and over for 3 hours. That's what I need in life.
Yeah. Man, Music League, though, it's a major time sink at this point, don't you think?
Well, I think so, but that's because I'm listening to all the songs. I don't know what you're up to. Kevin busted you the other day, Sean.
Yeah, that's true. I've had to outsource my listening of these tracks. It's come to the point where I can't do it all on my own. So I do have a team who's enlisted, by me to listen to, subsections of the playlist and report back what they think. And I like what I'm hearing through them.
Well, as long as they give you detailed reports, that's sort of like listening.
Yeah. And this way, I can scale to any size game. I could even play in these outrageous 30-player virtual pro games.
Yeah. When there's a little time, I think it was before the last virtual pro started, there was a time where the leagues were kind of on a hiatus at the same time. So I was looking around to join some random league. And I found one that was very enticing. It was each category is you pick a song that you think a slasher movie villain would enjoy. And I was like, this is made for me. This is the only kind of music I listen to is dudes singing about monsters. This is great. And then so I joined up. And then by the time round 1 started, I realized that each round, each person was supposed to pick 2 songs. and like 60 people had joined the league.
Oh
And I was
boy.
I was like, I can't. This I cannot do. This sounds perfect, but I cannot do this. Like, not only do I not want to pick 2 fucking songs in one round, it's going to eat up all my real league songs. I got to listen to 60 fucking 120 songs or whatever. Fuck this. So I had to bail out of that.
I think it's wise ultimately to save your Music League creative juices for the real game, because yeah, if you start blowing all your good picks on this other league, you're going to have some sad turnouts in this game, and it's going to be similar to the last round, wherein nobody cared for my MC Paul Barman track, and I still feel bad about it.
Yeah. I mean that's bound to happen. Music League now lets you know if you've already picked a song before, so I can never pick a song twice. So.
Oh, really? Is that a thing?
Yeah. I picked. I forget what I was doing. Like, I was going to go pick something, and I was like, well, I picked this in Virtual Pros, so I don't think it'll matter too much if I pick it in the Junk Food League. There's only a couple of people in both. I think this will be all right. And then I got that notification, and I was like, fuck, you're right, Music League. I can't fucking pick the same song twice.
Wow, I didn't know that they had that kind of technology at play. That is chilling that they're analyzing my submissions for duplicate entries. What the hell, Music League?
Yeah. Well, they just started offering like advanced stats too. Like if you pay like the $3 a month to not get ads, you also get like all these stats about how you've done in your music leagues and stuff like this, which I think is interesting. I might have to cough up that $3.
I got to be honest, Bowman. I love Music League. I think it's a lot of fun. We're all laughing and discovering all kinds of new music. It's a great thing. And I hate these advertisements where I got to watch, for what feels like 2 full minutes, a demo of some stupid iPhone game where a king is getting flooded to death or drowned or whatever. But despite all this, I will still never pay for the app. I'm that cheap.
Well, that's pretty cheap. It's only $3.
Is it a one-time $3?
No, I think it's $3 a month.
Yeah, well, that's how they get you.
That is how they get you.
There's a lot of months,
Yeah, we have been playing for a lot of months so far. So yeah, I guess that would add up.
Especially with the way some people vote. It can take a whole month to get through one round. Am I right? I'm looking at you, Jason Frisbee.
Mm-hmm. Frisbee's taking his time out there.
Looking right at you, Jason Frisbee.
Yeah. Well, outside of Music League, what have you been up to this week? Do any fun stuff? See any cool things?
Probably the highlight of the week was meeting up with a little friend of mine named Mr. Bowman in Los Angeles, California. Did you know that happened?
I was aware of that. I was there as well.
Yeah, and you love to see it.
I do love to see it. It's always a fun time. We get into wacky adventures. And we did get into some wacky adventures this time. We didn't see David Lynch again.
Yeah.
We missed him. We went to one of his
we're
favorites.
0 for several.
Yeah. We'll see him one day.
Yeah. We didn't get in any sorts of physical altercations that I can recall. I didn't throw anything at anybody.
Yeah, surprisingly. I actually, odd that you mentioned that, I drove by the new Randy's Donuts in Fresno, California today and thought about that time that you threw a trash can at a guy.
Somebody bought that company or something, because they've been opening up a million Randy's everywhere. There's like one in Burbank. There's another one in Pasadena. They're just popping up everywhere.
Yeah. This one didn't have a huge donut on top.
No, they never do.
Yeah.
It's too much of a throwing risk.
That is true.
They know what could happen if somebody, has to take one of those giant donuts to the side of their car.
Mm-hmm. I imagine that donut's probably like grandfathered into some sort of like structural code or something. Like you probably can't build more of those anymore.
No, yeah, definitely not. There are a couple though. That's not the only one. I think there's 3 in total in the LA area, that being the most famous one, but I think they're all built like right around the same time.
All 3 that have the big donut?
Yeah, same size, same shape, just different business name. They're not called Randy's, but yeah.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I didn't realize.
It was part of that programmatic architecture movement that brought us things like Tail of the Pup, the hot dog stand that is shaped like a hot dog in a little, bread bun.
Where is that at? That's in LA?
Yeah, it's over by the Beverly Center,
Okay.
West LA.
I didn't know. I'll have to check that out.
Oh yeah, LA was the origin point for a lot of this programmatic architecture, they called it, where you would make a building that was shaped like the thing that you were selling.
I like that. Those are the best kind of buildings, really.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to buy a boot, you better buy it from a lady in a cowboy boot building.
I agree. Yeah. But yeah.
But speaking of boots, how many boots did you buy in Los Angeles?
About 0 boots.
Maybe that's why David Lynch didn't show up.
Yeah, that's probably true. I didn't buy much of anything. I bought that flip book at the museum.
Let's go. We're jumping way ahead to flip book purchases at the gift shop. We're supposed to exit through the gift shop. Let's back it up, Bowman. So, what brought you down? And let's even go over this for listeners who maybe don't know. What is this journey like? When you decide, hey, I'm going to venture down to Los Angeles, California.
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like for you?
Well, it looks pretty boring because it's a bunch of agricultural land between here and there.
Yeah, you're driving through farmland.
Yeah, driving through the farms. There's mountains on the left and foothills on the right. So you can see those off in the distance. So that's okay, I guess.
Yeah. A couple slaughterhouses you got to deal with. Those don't smell so good.
No, the whole Central Valley smells just wretched. Like death and manure. It's awful.
Do you think the rendering of cattle is like the most smelly human endeavor? Like it is so bad.
It's very bad. Especially in the wintertime, it gets really bad here. Counterintuitively, maybe, because I think in the summer it's like so dry that like cow poop just immediately like dries out and stops smelling. But in the winter, when it's like just wet and rainy, like it's really super gross. But
Yeah.
As a kid, I used to live next to, or sort of near, like a corn factory, like where they would turn like corn into
Into
corn
Limp
syrup.
Biscuits.
Into what?
Into Limp Biscuits.
That's a good joke. Yeah, they would just like manufacture corn, and sometimes in the morning that was like horrible. Like if I had to walk to work on like a bad day where like the wind was bringing that right to me, I would like gag the entire time. So maybe not. Poop might be better than some things out there.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess
But
we'll settle
by
for
much.
poop then. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I do gag at the poop smells from time to time out here too. So maybe it's not like too much better, but
on this trip, poop smells were not a factor. It seems like.
yeah, not a factor on this trip. So yeah, it's like 3.5 hours or something, depending on traffic when you get to the Grapevine. But it was a Saturday, so it was pretty clear.
Yeah. And you're stopping at what? In-N-Out Burgers along the way. You're stopping at roadside oases. I mean, this is California, so I'm assuming, even though you're complaining about it being farmland or whatever, I'm assuming there's like palm trees and like, like Gucci and Prada stores and stuff along the way, right?
There are palm trees. We did pass by the Buck Owens Crystal Palace, which I've been wanting to go back to. You and I and Kevin and Anna went that one time.
Yeah.
And I want to go back because I've been getting into Buck Owens and that Bakersfield sound lately, more so than I was back then. So now it would actually be like meaningful, you know?
Yeah, but mostly just his Ringo Starr covers.
Well, yeah, mostly his Beatles covers. And they just announced that the people who own it are selling it. So I feel like I have to go soon in case it becomes a parking lot.
Damn, I didn't know that. That sucks.
Yeah,
Could it be the lusty lady across the street or whatever the name of that strip club was? Could they be the secret buyer?
I'm not sure. I know that when we were there was like some construction of like new houses or like apartments or something like in that neighborhood. So I feel like maybe it's like getting, gentrified and redone or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't know too much about Bakersfield, but like, yeah,
Can't lose the Palace. I mean, I feel like that is the #1 line dancing venue in town. you know?
Well, yeah, and it's the headquarters of, one of California's most culturally interesting forms of art, I would say.
Which is what?
Which is that Bakersfield sound.
Oh, yeah.
Without that palace, you're going to lose out on that.
And there's very few places to see as many artifacts from Hee Haw all in one place.
That's also true, yes.
Yeah, I like that place. Bakersfield in general, I think, is kind of cool. It's got that kind of like forgotten town vibe. It's almost a little bit like the town in the movie Cars, Pixar Cars, where it's like you can feel like this town at one point in time was on the road to success, and then somehow the road shifted, and now it's just kind of out there in the middle of nowhere, just kind of decaying.
Yeah, for sure. Once it's like a big oil town. So when that started drying up, it just kind of went away. Although I think they're like Fresno in that they're banking on the idea that this high speed rail is going to bring them back to life. Which I don't know if we're ever going to have a high speed rail or if that will actually work. So I guess we'll see. But we did stop on the Grapevine at a Baja Fresh burrito place.
Oh, yeah, because you like to eat fresh.
I like to eat fresh, and it was the worst mistake I ever made because it cost $50 to go to a fast food burrito place.
What the hell now?
It depressed me greatly. You
got the gold-dusted burritos, right?
Yeah, we got the ones that come with little flecks of platinum and diamonds.
Okay, nice. Okay, well, you get what you pay for, I guess. How were these Baja Fresh burritos?
They were fine. They're they were very big burritos, to be fair, but not very great burritos.
Well, it's not like you were in a state where you could find a mom and pop Mexican food, supplier, a restaurant, or even a stand on the side of the road where a guy's making tacos for you. Those don't exist out here.
Yeah, I think if we would have stopped in Bakersfield, we could find something. But I think the Grapevine is all just chains and bullshit.
I'm surprised you even found that, to be honest. The Grapevine, in my view, is just 2 gas stations and nothing else.
Yeah, there's a few things there. There's a McDonald's, and I think there is a Chipotle there too, which we probably should have gone to. But yeah, next time I'll stop in Bakersfield. But
yeah, that's the play. But you made it down. You made it through that Grapevine. You didn't hear very much up there, surprisingly, counter to everything that we know about grapevines. True. And but the big event was that the Friday night, right?
Saturday night. Saturday night.
Yeah.
I went to the big California Journalism Awards, which was my first time going. I won one time many years ago, but I didn't get to go. And this time I was up for quite a few awards, so the company sprang for me to go, me and my boss to go. And it was pretty cool. Perhaps the highlight of it, though, was there was workshops during the day, where Fancy Pantses from the LA Times and Cal Matters and San Francisco Chronicle were giving these workshops on various aspects of journalism and stuff. And during one of those, or right before it started, was when Trump got shot.
Son of a bitch.
And so everybody's phones were going off, and everybody was trying to read the story to everybody else and trying to get it out super quick. So everybody was just skimming the story on their phones and blurting out
I liked it.
The most important parts, blood on the side of the head, Secret Service, he's being walked off, and so it was really exciting. It was probably stuff like that probably happened in newsrooms all the time back in the 70s, because news would come over the little ticker and everybody would gather around to be oh, Nixon, he's doing this shit,
Yeah,
so,
but plus Skype quality was really bad back then.
Also that, yeah. So that was exciting because now if big news happens, I'm in my office and I see it on my phone and I go, huh. And then I think to maybe tell somebody, but then I remember that nobody works in our office anymore because journalists don't exist anymore, basically. So I just get
But
to
you
nod.
might post a link about it on a Discord with a bunch of semi-strangers.
True. Sometimes I do that. But yeah, so yeah, it was kind of exciting to be in like a historical moment surrounded by a who's who of California journalists.
Now, do you think that any actual good journalism was able to occur on that story that day from this pool of journalists, or did everybody just kind of fuck up and miss the story that day?
I think maybe a couple of people probably had to leave to go cover it in some capacity. Because like there were, like I said, San Francisco Chronicle people there and LA Times people. So I'm sure like some people probably did have to leave, a very small amount. But most people were just like, oh, well, I'm off today. Fuck it. Like, I'm here. I got a Chardonnay. I'm not going to work. I'm not writing nothing. So that was also very exciting to see how much journalists love their days off.
Yeah, you can't cover a presidential assassination in a Hawaiian shirt. That would not do.
Exactly. So that was a lot of fun. That was an exciting aspect of the day.
I agree. It was a lot of fun.
Well, hey, you're blindsiding me here with your comments on that.
Uh-oh. Jack Black.
We might have to put our creative endeavors on hold if you keep talking that way.
Uh-oh, don't gas me out over here.
My God, what a fucking piece of shit Jack Black is.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's hope that he sees the light rather than depriving his far less rich friend his only opportunity to make a meager amount of money.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh boy, would not have expected this back in 1996.
Man, in 1996 or whenever Mr. Show was on, could you imagine, we would be having these conversations about Jack Black, about Jay Johnston.
Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah, what a breeding ground for wild turns of events.
It's been crazy. Anyways, so you guys got a little bit sidetracked by the big Trump kerfluffle, but it wasn't enough to stop you from collecting a bunch of awards from what I saw.
I got some good awards. Yeah, very exciting. The judges seemed to like a few of my things. I got a nice second place award. I got a couple of third places, stuff like that. So no first places this year, but
I did notice, though, no recognition for your coverage of Stars of the Roller Skate Disco. And in my mind, that's vindication. I knew you were wrong to dislike that very boring British roller skate movie.
Well, that is a good point. Everybody else there did like it.
Yeah. They've all heard of it. They all love it.
Yeah. I was a little sad to get, I wasn't, bummed to not get first place, because, to get fourth place out of 800 newspapers or whatever, 1,500 newspapers, however many there are in California, is pretty cool as it is. But I was a little sad I didn't win first place for my story about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because I've got a tweet already drafted up and ready to go, tagging all my favorite Buffy writers and cast members to tell them about my win, and now I'll never get to push send on that. Very sad.
It's fucking absurd.
It is pretty absurd. It's pretty upsetting. I thought it was a very good column.
Well, there's always next year. I mean, that's how that works, right? Is that articles from prior years are sometimes eligible, right? That's how these things go.
Well, I think that my downfall was writing, the crux of that story is I talked to an AI robot about Buffy and blah, blah, blah. I think if I change it to a more well-liked show like The Bear or The Sopranos, then I probably would have won, but because Buffy's so niche, I'm sure a bunch of these judges were probably like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is Spike? What does this mean?
Why are they fighting Dracula?
Actually, that's a good point.
Why are they slaying these vampires? That's what they ask.
But yeah, so we did pretty good, and my our sister paper in Santa Maria did well too, and then our other, our company owns the Bakersfield paper, they did well. So yeah, it was a fun time. We had fun and won some awards.
Oh, I see. So you do have a financial interest in the town of Bakersfield. Maybe it wasn't just honest praise earlier that you were directing towards that little town.
Well, not really. They're not really our sister paper. They're just owned by the same company, I guess. It was I don't know anything about that. Our real sister paper.
So an influx of tourism in the Bakersfield region won't line your pockets with greenbacks? Okay, no. Bowman, I believe you if that's what you're saying.
No, please believe me.
I do.
Yeah, so that was fun. And then afterwards, you and I and Jennifer went to Bob's Big Boy in
the biggest.
Beautiful Burbank.
Yeah. Oh, you love Burbank. You became a real Burbank boy in the past couple of years.
I do really like Burbank because of Chili
Jay
John's. Jay Leno, Chili John's, the supermarket where Sarah Palmer rants about turkey jerky is also in Burbank, I've learned.
Oh, I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, we'll have to go there. I'll give you the address. It's in that zine I bought.
I wonder if it's the Handy Market.
I think it is.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I didn't know that, but like I've been in the Handy Market many times, and yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
They got good sandwiches in that Handy Market.
Well, next time I'm in town, we'll have to go there and see if they got any turkey jerky.
I bet you they do, and it will be smoked.
And we'll have to buy like 4 bottles of booze to complete the journey.
Yeah, and Bloody Mary mix, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went there. It was very tasty. The Bob's Big Boy.
You like that, Bob's?
Yeah, I only had some pie in honor of our man Dale Cooper, but it was good pie. Good pie. Enjoyable.
You had never been to a Bob's Big Boy before?
I think so. I know that they used to be around.
I think they have one in Cincinnati. I don't know about all over Ohio.
I think there was one in the Dayton area when I was a kid.
Or maybe it's not a Bob's Big Boy. I think maybe outside of LA, they're just Big Boy.
Yeah.
Could that be?
That could be, yeah.
It used to be a much bigger chain, basically, like in the 1940s through 60s or something. It was like pretty damn nationwide, I think.
Yeah, that boy is iconic. Like I remember driving by some of that boy as a kid, for sure.
Yeah. But now, the boys' days are seemingly numbered. His locations have been dwindling, but still hanging on strong there in Burbank with all those cool neon signs and a photograph of David Lynch.
Yeah, that was the highlight of the night, seeing a photograph of David Lynch on the wall.
It's part of the reason it's probably the main reason I brought you there, was just to witness that photo.
Yeah, I mean, that's understandable.
I do love that Bob's, though. Like, that was a classic hangout for me in my early 20s, because it was always open super late. It's always cheap. You could kind of just go in there and get, a drink and just, like, nurse a drink and not even order any food for a long time when you're, like, a scumbag 18-year-old or whatever. A lot of good memories in that place, and I just love the fact that it's barely changed at all, I think, since it opened. It pretty much looks identical.
Yeah, it's got that classic look to it. Seems like at one point it was probably a very smoky place, which I don't think it is anymore.
Yeah, I could imagine ashtrays on all those tables.
Yeah.
Maybe even on the side of the grill for the line cook to be smoking while he's flipping burgers,
Yeah.
That doesn't happen no more, right? You're not going to get a cheeseburger that's got a little bit of cigarette ash in it.
No, not outside of Kentucky. I think in Kentucky you can still smoke. That might be the only state.
That's how they smoke their meats down there, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So that was fun. And then the next day, we got into some more shenanigans. Did you end up going to the flea market?
No, I was all talk. The prior night, we were talking about I'm going to wake up early I was saying I'm going to be at the flea market at 6 in the morning. I'm going to be dancing with Alf dolls in my hands, I'm going to get all these out-of-print records before any other motherfucker even gets to the Rose Bowl. But then I just overslept, and it was fine. This happens to me every month. I get wild ideas that I'm going to conquer the world. You know, I get real manic about thrifting at the Rose Bowl. And then, you know, the morning rolls by and I'm always just like, you know what's really good is sleep.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's understandable. That's what Sundays are for.
Yeah. But one of these days I will get back over there because I feel like their collection of questionable racist memorabilia from days past is second to none. And I need some more, like, tiki mugs that have weird Chinese guy faces on them. That's my jam, dude.
That's understandable.
You know, it's an area of interest.
Yeah. That's some of my favorite racism. Like, I don't like I drove through Tennessee one time and there's like a gift shop with like a bunch of like, you know, blackface toys and stuff like this, like Aunt Jemima's and stuff like this. And like, I don't want that. I don't want that in my home. But yeah, give me a tiki mug with like a guy that looks like Fu
Manchu sort of character, you know. The mustache is real long.
Yeah. So, like the kind of guys that like Captain America would sock in the jaw in like 1945 with like the big round glasses. Give me those guys.
Yeah. A man who owns many robes, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, so I went to, while you were not doing that and sleeping in, my boss convinced me to go to Cantor's Deli in Hollywood, California, I believe.
Yeah, the world famous on Fairfax.
Yeah, it was delightful, it was delicious, and very inexpensive. I got a whole ass breakfast for like $11.
Oh wow, that's pretty good.
Great. Yeah, so that place was tasty.
I love the ceiling in that main dining room in Cantor's with like the fall foliage type look, where it's like a glass ceiling with lights coming through it, but it's got like fall leaves. I love that.
Yeah, it's a good looking place. So we did that, and then we all met up. All of us, me and all of my friends in Los Angeles. Every last one of my friends in Los Angeles showed up.
The people that you care about and care about you.
Yeah, exactly. All those people showed up. It was wonderful to see them. Travis was there. Your wife was there, who didn't join us for Bob's Big Boy because she hates David Lynch.
That's true. She does actually hate David Lynch.
Oh, I can't understand a person who would hate David Lynch.
No. Talk to yourself circa 3 years ago, and I think maybe you'll find out why.
I'll talk to him. Okay. Corey was there.
Corey was there.
Corey was there. Yeah, it was the delight. We went to the Talleyrand, which sounds like the word Taliban, which I thought was very funny.
What is a Talleyrand, anyways? Do we know? Is it like a horse-related term? I feel like it's horse-related.
It sounds like a kind of boat.
Can I Google this? Is this a crime to Google on a podcast? Maybe don't tell anybody.
Okay, I won't tell anybody.
The first result is just the restaurant.
Okay.
I don't see anything other than the restaurant.
Maybe that's all it is.
Very weird.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a nice. It was sold to me by, I believe, Jackson Stewart.
Oh, wait. There's more friends who weren't present?
Yeah, Jackson. I believe it was Jackson's idea to go to the Talleyrand.
Talleyrand is a noun that refers to Charles Maurice de Talleyrand Périgord, a French statesman and diplomat who lived from 1754 to 1838.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Fucking Google AI.
It can't be true.
I don't know what that means. Anyways. Jackson, he's a French statesman.
Jackson, the French statesman, suggested the Talleyrand because there's a nice old man diner, he said. Then he didn't even show up, proving that he's young. Younger than all of us.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, you just outed yourself, dude. You're Gen Z.
Yeah. He had to fix his air conditioner, so he didn't show up, but we still enjoy him. And he's got a new short film coming out soon. Keep your eyes peeled, everybody.
I like this movie.
I probably do. I probably will. I gotta watch it tonight. I still haven't watched it. And yeah, it was good. It was good food. It was good seeing everybody.
What kind of food did you get there? I think you got a patty melt, is that right? Did I see you eating a patty melt, or that was somebody else?
That was Jennifer. I got the Belgian waffle with the strawberries.
Oh, yeah, and with the whipped cream omitted.
No whipped cream. I don't have time for that crap.
This caused a furor at the restaurant. You asked for no whipped cream on the Belgian waffle. Multiple people from adjoining tables leaned over. They said, "Are you sure? We think you're making a mistake. Would you be willing to reconsider? Maybe some whipped cream on the side." You said, "No, I don't want any of that. Get it off my table. In fact, if anybody on this table, at this table, has eaten anything with whipped cream, you're not my friend anymore." I think you were saying things along these lines. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right. I think Travis got a little whipped cream, and so when it came to the table, I actually shoved him
Yeah.
and threw his whipped cream on the ground.
Yeah, well, but what else did you do?
Well, then I spit on the rest of his food. I said, if you want whipped cream, here it is.
Yeah, but also,
I don't remember what else happened.
I don't know. You had a bite of the whipped cream and then you melted away like Garrett Morris.
Oh, that's my worst fear. I can never eat that crap. It'll make me die.
What a fiasco it must be to dine with you all the time and always be trying to dodge these bullets of white creams. There's a lot of white creams in American food, it turns out.
Not that many. It's pretty easy to avoid them. It's like you just don't get it on your pie, and you just don't eat sour cream on a burrito, and you're pretty good.
Now, what about a vanilla ice cream?
I can mess with that.
You like a scoop of vanilla ice cream?
Oh, yeah. I love vanilla ice cream.
But not if there's whipped cream on top of it.
Certainly not, no.
How would you even know the dividing line sometimes? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you can't even tell where the whipped cream is ending and where the ice cream begins.
If whipped cream melts into something, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Like
Like a hot chocolate?
Yeah, if I get a hot chocolate with whipped cream, and then the whipped cream is like still full, and like I were to like sip it and get a bunch of whipped cream in my mouth, I would be very upset.
Yeah,
but if
but
like
you
I
could
were
maybe
to wait
take
a
a
while,
spoon and dunk that puppy down under there, and it will.
yeah.
Kinda-
If I were to do that, yeah. If I use a spoon to get that guy underwater, and then he starts melting in, then I'm fine with it.
Okay. All right. Well, these are the rules and regulations of Bowman's dietary restrictions.
Yeah. And likewise with a whipped cream. Like if I mixed the whipped cream in, I don't know, if I mushed it all together with a pie, I could probably eat it, unless it was a cherry pie. Because if it turned pink, that would be gross. Because in stuff, when people melted, it melted like the stuff mixed with their blood and turned pink. So that would not work. But if it was like an apple pie, I could mix a little whipped cream in there. I'd have too much of an issue with it.
Now, if I'm remembering correctly, I think a few years ago, maybe even going back 5, 10 or something, but at some point somebody made recreations of the stuff packaging, like the little canisters that it comes in.
Yep.
Would you be willing to own one of those in your own home? Or do you think that would send you into a panic?
No, I think that would be fine. I would like to have one of those. But if there was the stuff inside, that would gross me out.
Even if it was replica stuff, guaranteed to be safe, guaranteed not to do murders.
As long as it looked like the stuff, it would be pretty gross to me.
Okay, all right. Well, I feel like I'm learning more and more about you. As we did at the Talleyrand, where I had my aforementioned cinnamon roll French toast. It was delicious.
It sounds delicious.
Yeah, I was able to slab enough butter on top of it that it almost looked like it was covered in whipped cream. And that's the right volume of butter for me.
Yeah, that's understandable. Butter is very tasty.
My approach with butter is let's get a full layer going. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is, if it's bread I'm covering, I don't want to see the bread. I should only be seeing butter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's good that you feel that way too, because if you weren't eating all that butter, then the cows up here in the Central Valley that are being tortured would be being tortured in vain. So it's good that you eat their butter.
Yeah. I want to make those farts and shits that you have to smell when you're driving down here all worthwhile.
And I appreciate that.
But yeah, Talleyrand was great. Had a good time there. It was fun to see Travis, fun to see Corey.
Mm-hmm.
Fun to text with Jackson.
Yeah.
It was very
really
fun to text with him.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see him again one day.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. But then after that, we went to the Museum of Arts and Motion Picture Sciences and Arts, or whatever it's called.
The Academy Museum. The Oscars Museum. And on the way there, on the sidewalk, I spied walking around King Buzzo of the Melvins. That was exciting for me.
I saw him too. I didn't get a picture, but I saw him walking around.
Where did you see him? Was it on the street, or did he make his way to the museum? Or
yeah, on the street. He looked like he was going to the La Brea Tar Pits.
Yeah, I've seen him now, I think 3 times in the wild, and of course it's the amount of times you see the guy is relative to how crazy his hair is. You know what I mean? Like, he's very easy to spot as a result. But I still feel like that's kind of remarkable that I've seen him 3 times just in random places.
It's a big city, so yeah.
Yeah. But that was fun. And then the Oscar Museum itself, a first time for you, right? What were you thinking? Like, what were you expecting? Did you think you would get there and it would be all about the history of the Oscars and maybe less about the movies, or did you have any concept, or what are you thinking? What's on your mind?
I kind of didn't know what to expect. I mean, I guess, yeah, if I had thought about it, I probably would have expected like a lot of Oscar-y stuff, which there was a bit of. I certainly would not have expected that the Oscars would put together a whole exhibit about John Waters, a guy that they would never in a billion years nominate for anything. Yeah. Although maybe he was probably nominated for Hairspray, right? Though?
Oh, I don't know.
I would have to look it up. That seems like the kind of movie that they would nominate for something.
Maybe like best costumes or something for that.
Yeah. So maybe I'm speaking out of school here. Maybe he's been nominated for something. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. One of the first things I saw when entering, though, was Star Wars stuff.
Which you love.
I love Star Wars.
Which got you in the mood for the movie that we'll be talking about later.
True. The Millennium Falcon is very big in real life. Apparently.
Yeah. And they had the real Dykstra cam there, which is that motorized camera that they invented to basically be able to do like stop motion shots where the camera moves as well. Yeah.
Which was not used in Message from Space.
No, they just threw models at a black background.
Yeah. So that was fun. They had a bunch of like costumes and special effects for movies, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. They had those Polaroid casting photos of a bunch of young actors, including like a bunch of people from Twin Peaks.
Yeah, Albert and Donna.
Audrey.
Horne. Yeah, that was cool. Also Adrian Shelley, who I like a lot.
Yeah.
They had like some storyboards from some Alfred Hitchcock movies, which was cool.
Yeah, to see the birds storyboards is pretty neat. Yeah. And we were talking at the time about like, I'm going to throw this out here on the podcast where maybe somebody else will hear it and make it a reality, but I don't know why storyboards don't get released as graphic novels. Like, I would totally read the storyboards for The Birds or probably any Hitchcock movie or a ton of movies, like give me a Beetlejuice storyboards. I think that would probably be rad. Yeah, well, I thought that came true when we were in the gift shop. We were looking around at the books, and there was a big book that said Hitchcock storyboards, and I was like, "Oh my god, is this a real thing?" And I opened it up, and it was just like a collection of like some certain scenes from like each one of his movies. So it wasn't like the full movie told in like graphic novel style, like start to finish, but it was like some of them. We're making
was still pretty
progress. Yeah.
Maybe
I
one
want
day.
that deep dive, though.
Yeah, I feel like it would have to be a pretty big book though, because there's for like one 30-second stint of the birds, like those storyboards covered like the entire wall, so it'd have to be a pretty massive book.
Hey man, if we gotta kill some trees, we gotta kill some trees. For
I
my
hate trees.
enjoyment,
Yeah.
I think it's worth it.
I think so.
They also had those animation cells from the great animated short film Asparagus, which you just completely disrespected. I think much to the offense of staff working at the museum and other tourists. You're standing there looking at these cells from Asparagus, just like scoffing at them. It was rude, I thought.
Yeah, well, I was like, well, this animation's bad. It doesn't even move. That's what I said. I said, it's up on the wall here. It's not even moving. What gives?
You said, how can I respect this? It's not even Japanese.
Exactly. I did respect the Japanese, though, because there was that Akira artwork, which was super cool.
Yeah, that was very nice to see.
Yeah. There was also some stuff from American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
So now I know how they did that thing where the werewolf's, like, muzzle grows, his mouth.
Oh, yeah. They
Now
built
I
like
get
a whole
it.
damn robot, basically.
Yeah, they put a fucking robot on that guy's face.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
They also
a
had
gremlin.
Michael
Had Frank
Keaton's
the Bunny
wig from
Donnie
Beetlejuice.
Darko, which was cool.
That was fun
Very
to see.
scary in real life.
Little white hair Beetlejuice wig.
The Captain America shield.
Did you see that?
I know that you were excited by that.
Did I lose you? Oh no.
Are you there?
Where is a Bowman?
John Byron.
The other thing that they had was that cool Beetlejuice wig. Michael Keaton's silly little white hairdo from Beetlejuice in wig form.
That was cool. Also in that display case, they had like people's like faces, like they made like a bust of their face. I don't know what the word is called to do that, but yeah, like Grace Kelly from Rear Window's face was there. Very small face. Very cute.
Yeah, they had one of the actual alien heads from the first Alien movie, which that's fucking cool, like the real Giger designed screen used head.
Yeah, that was cool. They also had the tattoo of the red dragon that appears in the movie Red Dragon that does not appear in Manhunter because there is no red dragon in Manhunter. But that was really cool to see. I thought that was like, it was like just like the template, like a paper template of the tattoo that the guy has that I guess like they would just transfer onto the actor's body every day. And that was cool to see because in the movie and in the book, not Manhunter, but the other one, like, so there's a big part of that where like the character Francis Dollarhide has to go to a museum to find the original Red Dragon painting and then eat it. So the fact that there's like a guy, like the tattoo of that painting in a museum was like very fun. It was like meta, like just its existence. I thought that was very fun.
I think they did that just to amuse you.
I hope so. It was quite amusing.
They also had that the alien mask from Close Encounters that is
Yeah,
just so funny looking because it's like the saddest, most basic looking little alien face. It's remarkable that like this is from a movie that is well loved because it looks like it's from like just the worst like Beelzebub backyard bullshit. But no, it's probably an award-winning effect right there.
Yeah, it looked pretty shitty.
Yeah.
There's also some more Star Wars stuff, which none of it really like looked cool. Like there was like a C-3PO and like some other shit, like a lightsaber or two. And the only one that like actually looked cool is like they had the burnt Darth Vader from the end of Return of the Jedi, like after.
No, well, but is it? I thought that was actually from one of the newer ones.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. It
kind of looks like the Jedi thing, but yeah,
it's the one that Kylo Ren has in his room or whatever.
Exactly,
yeah, that's right. That's right. But either way, it did look cool. It was like a melty Vader mask. It was super cool looking.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
And then they had a bunch of John Waters shit.
Lots of John Waters stuff.
A whole floor of it.
Yeah, that was very fun to see.
You like all those foreign posters with, outrageous artworks that you couldn't get away with here in America?
Yeah, those were fun. Like a lot of the props and outfits and stuff were fun. Like a lot of the they had, I think the real one, maybe it was a recreation of the note from Serial Mom that says, "I'm going to get you, pussy face," or whatever it says.
I think it's the note that says "white shoes after Labor Day."
Yeah, that one too.
And then they've got the electric chair, right? From Multiple Maniacs, is it? Or Female Trouble?
Female Trouble, yeah.
Yeah. And then they had John Waters' personal copy of the Hustler magazine from 1976 with the scratch and sniff cover.
Oh, that's fun. I didn't realize it was his personal copy.
I think it was, yeah.
I would imagine.
Otherwise, why would that just be in there?
Yeah.
Right next to a barf bag from Mark of the Devil.
Yeah, that was fun. They had like this cool like little exhibit thing where like you could dance, like a little room you could dance in, and then it would show up on like a 50s TV, sort of like the way that the characters from Hairspray were watching that dance show, and that was fun.
Yeah.
So all that stuff was fun. Like I liked all the outfits. I was a little bummed out. Like they had like all the characters, like the outfits of like all the characters from Cecil B. Demented. Yeah. Demented. Except for Alicia Witt's. And I was like, well, this doesn't tie into Twin Peaks at all without that one. This sucks.
Yeah, they fucked up.
Yeah, but that was cool. I like that movie, despite not knowing the name of it, apparently. I think that might have been the first John Waters movie I ever saw, so I've got kind of a soft spot for it.
Is that the one with the huge titties?
No, that is the Dirty Shame movie, which I have not seen, but I did put it on the schedule for the next Junk Food Dinner episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we're going to
fix
that.
You mean like next week?
No, 2 weeks. 2 episodes. So a month from now.
Wow.
Or so.
Well, we're planning that far ahead now. Kevin's going to be thrilled.
Well, yeah. And who knows? There's a lot of time for me to take it off and replace it with a Don Dohler movie or something stupid, but...
Oh.
Yeah, Don Dohler is who I was thinking about when I saw that Close Encounters mask.
That definitely looks like some Don Dohler shit.
Yeah, I mean, in a good way, if it were in a Don Dohler movie, but kind of embarrassing for it to be Spielberg.
Well, Don Dohler's probably better than Spielberg. I think I like more Don Dohler movies than I like Spielberg movies.
Well, you saw what's replacing the John Waters exhibit on the 5th floor of the museum is the Don Dohler exhibit, so...
That would be wonderful.
Man, why doesn't that happen, right? He's earned it.
I think so.
I mean, is that too much to ask?
Yeah.
But most importantly, you met Glenn.
Yeah, Glenn, which is, it was kind of surprising because, like, John Waters is kind of a big part of the Chucky franchise, but, like, he's not the voice of Glenn or anything like that. So it's kind of weird that they had a Glenn.
I guess Glenn kills John Waters in one of the movies. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, he doesn't kill John Waters, but he's in the scene where John Waters gets killed by Chucky.
Yeah, I think that's how they justify it.
That makes sense. And I mean, I guess, like, if you probably do want to represent John Waters being part of the Chucky franchise in some way, but yeah, I mean, I guess that's like the only way you do it is to get one of the puppets, because it's not like, otherwise, like, I don't know, you just use his outfit, but like, that's kind of weird. It's just a suit. It's just like whatever he would normally wear, so that wouldn't make sense. So, but yeah, it was fun to see that stuff, because I really love him in those Chuckies that he's in.
Yeah, and they had an animation cell from his appearance on The Simpsons, which is still one of my favorite episodes of all time. When John Waters is running the, is it the left-handed Emporium at the mall, right?
I don't think it's the left-handed. That was Flanders' thing. I think he just, or it's like a kitschy, like 50s shop.
Kitschy's, yeah, exactly, yeah. But he is smoking left-handed cigarettes, if you know what I mean.
I understand your meaning. Yeah, that was cool. It had like a cool signature by like Matt Groening in the corner, which was fun to see.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And there's like a wall of art dedicated to John Waters, which was cool.
And on the way out, you get to see Bruce, your favorite shark. Jaws himself, Mr. Bruce.
Yeah. That was a good shark to see.
So overall, I mean, I know that they don't have any, there's no room dedicated to the Polonia brothers, and there's very minimal Beelzebub representation, but what did you think?
I thought it was very cool.
You would recommend it for an out-of-town visitor?
I would definitely do that. I mean, we were there for a long time, so it's like what, $20-$25 to get in, and we were there for like 3.5 hours or something. So yeah, it's definitely, you get a lot of stuff to do for not an incredibly large amount of money.
Yeah, I feel like it was long overdue. This is my second time going there, and the first time I went, I was like, why have we not always had this? Like, this is where the movies are made. Like, all of this shit, I guess, was sitting in warehouses in the LA area. So, like, we should have just, opened those warehouses earlier and had this the whole time.
Yeah. And I mean, it seems like a good way to show off some stuff, especially like if you want to tie it into like new stuff coming out, which like they didn't necessarily do, but like I guess like a lot of that stuff, was that there when you, like last time you were there, like a lot of like the Donnie Darko stuff and like the Captain America stuff and Spider-Man, or was that switched out with new stuff?
I would say so that room that you're talking about, I think has like the most impressive collection of artifacts. And I think that room was probably about 20% different this time, but it wasn't that long ago that I went. I probably went about 6 months ago. So I think, they're rotating some stuff in those general areas. And then like the big exhibit changes, I think every 6 months or something. So I'm not sure what's coming in after John Waters leaves, but I think John Waters only has a couple of weeks left. Yeah,
it's at the end of his run. But yeah, it seems like, instead, like with rooms like that where they're switching stuff out, it seems like, if you wanted to showcase like something for the new Deadpool movie, you could get like some Wolverine costumes in there. Because like they had some of the old X-Men movies, stuff like that. Like it seems like that would be a popular thing to do. But either way, like, I mean, all the stuff they had was super cool. So you wouldn't necessarily have to tie it into anything new. But it seems like an opportunity they could have in the future. But yeah, all the stuff was rad. And that's cool that they swap it out with new stuff from time to time.
Yeah, the animation room, I think, was almost entirely all new stuff. I didn't see that Akira stuff or the asparagus stuff last time. So, and I, for one, was hyped for both.
I was hyped for 50% of that stuff.
Yeah. But are you hyped for voicemails?
I'm always hyped for voicemails. We got one this week.
I mean, assuming that we're done with our LA chat, I don't want to bring it to a close too quickly. If you want to cover the drive home,
get ready.
I mean, I guess we can cover the fact that I failed to obtain a black and white cookie that you are now proudly chomping on as we record.
Yeah. I got you a black and white cookie that I failed to actually deliver to you.
Yeah, there was a lot of miscues on that delivery, so I'll take partial blame on that.
And then also driving home, this may delight you as an LA local to hear about this.
Okay. Now, if it involves freeways, I will be delighted.
It does.
Just call them out by name, please.
I don't know which one this was, but
it was probably the 405.
Could be the 405. Waze told me to get home, I had to drive through Hollywood, through the heart of Hollywood, passed by the Jimmy Kimmel Theater and everything. And once we turned off Hollywood Boulevard to get onto the freeway, like you have to go north a little bit.
This is the 101 now that we're talking about.
Okay,
I
the
don't want to
101.
mislead listeners. I made a kind of prediction. It might be 405 related. I was wrong. This is 101.
Okay, this is the 101. So, dead standstill for like 20 minutes. Car's not moving whatsoever.
20 minutes?
It was a while. And maybe not that long.
Did you turn onto Hollywood Boulevard?
We were on Hollywood Boulevard, and then we turned onto a different street.
Why are you driving on Hollywood Boulevard?
This is what Waze told me to do. But
Why
Hollywood
would you
Boulevard
trust
wasn't the issue.
Waze in Los Angeles?
Once we turned off of Hollywood Boulevard, that was the big issue. And then once we got to the end of this absolute shitfest of a traffic nightmare, we realized it was because Waze wanted us to drive by the Hollywood Bowl, which was packed with people trying to get in and out. Why would Waze do that to me?
These idiots at the Waze Corporation, it's like they don't have your best interests in mind. It's like they want you to just be stuck in traffic, running out of gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they want you to refuel. Maybe they got an interest in the gasoline market.
They just may. I don't know why they would want me to go past Hollywood Bowl during an event. That's crazy.
What was the event?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll look it up.
Was it the Netflix is a Joke festival where you can have the privilege to pay like $7,000 for a back row ticket to Louis C.K.?
That's possible. We did drive by the Netflix headquarters twice, though, and they do have a pretty cool advertisement thing, diorama.
The Beverly Hills Cop one?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
You saw that? Yeah, I saw that too.
With that cool helicopter and stuff. That was enjoyable.
Yeah, and it's like on ground level, like it just kind of comes up from the sidewalk. It's a pretty cool display, but their building too is kind of eye-catching. I don't know that I like it, but it certainly stands out, the Netflix building.
Yeah, it's an interesting looking building. But yeah, that was fun. A lot of fun billboards. There's also that Wolverine and Deadpool one where Deadpool is on one side of the street and then the other side has a different billboard that just says "and Wolverine." I thought that was a creative billboard. You don't get a lot of creative billboards anywhere except for LA, and that's always a fun part of visiting.
I feel like our number one category of billboard as of late, and I'm talking like past 3 years, is the STD billboard. There's so many billboards like telling me like, you don't have to be ashamed of syphilis.
Yeah, I saw a lot that just a close-up of eyes, like really red, goopy eyes that says, eye syphilis is a big deal or something like that.
Yeah. Which I didn't even know now syphilis is impacting eyeballs. This is news to me. I mean, I guess I'm glad to be informed, but it's also kind of a bummer that I'm driving around town just thinking about gonorrhea all the time. There's this one stoplight on my way to work, whenever I'm commuting in, where I feel like I'm just always stopped there, and it's just this weird looking, like regular dude kind of staring directly into camera, and the text is all about his case of gonorrhea. And I'm like, I don't want to know this about you, bro. You seemed like a regular guy before. We didn't have to get this personal.
Yeah, it's a little bit gross.
Yeah.
But what isn't gross is the voicemails.
Oh, I agree, yeah.
Checkpoint.
We got one here this week. It is from our main man, Mr. Brian.
Live from New York, it's Mr. Brian. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian.
When I close my eyes, I think about the top 3 in you.
That's not correct. Hold on. That's not correct. That's not the correct one. Hold on a second.
What the hell? You think Mr. Brian would call into the show and sing a tune for us?
No. Hold on. I messed up. Hold on.
And if you think I'm cutting any of this gold out of the show, you got another thing coming, buddy.
Hold on a second. Hold on. I messed up.
This may be the only time that we've misattributed a theme song to a caller. And you think I'm going to delete it?
You gotta delete that. Hold on. Let me get
Me
the right
with
one
my
for you.
whole hog approach to podcast editing?
No, hold on. Just can't use this. Hold on. Let me queue up the right thing. Hold on.
As a matter of fact, I smoke pot.
What
Wait,
was
hold
that?
on.
Was that a voicemail from last week?
Yeah, I think that was from last week. Okay, here's the right one.
Junk food supper. What is up, my friend? Mr. Brian calling in New York.
Oh.
Was calling to say hello. Hope everything's well. Hope your summer's going good. It's hot as hell here in New York. It's currently 104 degrees real.
Oh my God.
Real field temperature, rather. Anyway, I was calling about Message from Space. I watched that film after Sean Byron said it's time people in this country recognize, or respect rather, the Japanese Jedi. So that intrigued me. Then I went on Tubi, watched it, and I did not like this movie at all. So this is nothing like Star Wars, Sean Byron. It has some elements, minor elements, I would say, in my opinion. But overall, this was just a bad movie. I don't know. Am I not getting something? If I'm not getting it, please feel free to explain it. But I think as punishment for making the rest of us watch this movie, you ought to watch a Star Trek movie. I mean, you say watching a Star Trek movie is torture. That's what I felt like watching this Message from Space movie. So, not trying to play a bad guy or give you a hard time or anything. It's just giving you my 2 cents. So. Anyway, thanks for taking my call. Love the show as always. And talk to you next time. Peace.
Okay, well, the gauntlet has been thrown, Mr. Brian in New York, and I accept the challenge. If you want to come meet me here in Los Angeles, land of plentiful dumpsters, let me remind you, I think we can settle whether or not this is a Star Wars-esque movie, mano y mano.
I mean, for the sake of argument, I would say that it isn't just because I want you to watch some Star Trek. So
I see. Well, you know, there may be other ways to get me to watch a Star Trek. You could just pick it for the show sometime, you know? It'll probably be a lot easier.
I've tried that many times, and you always
you have?
You call in sick those times.
Oh, I do?
Yeah, we go, hey, we're gonna do Star Trek, and you go, I got the COVID, I can't do it.
Yeah, well, are you saying that I should drop out of the podcast because of my COVID?
I know.
Are you suggesting I'm not fit to podcast because of COVID and other issues, you know, my staggering memory loss among them?
Yeah, you did refer to the president of the Ukraine as President Putin recently.
Sure.
You called Donald Trump your vice president.
And I have been seen in public with my pants on completely backwards.
Mm-hmm. But that's just
maybe
because
I just
you like crisscross.
Yeah, and I just like to have those pockets up there in the front, you know, those butt pockets. They're more comfortable for my hands.
I agree. Well, if you want to call in and let us know how you feel about this Star Trek business.
Yeah,
or
John
butt
Waters,
pockets. Or pockets.
Or if you can make it in time, the next episode I think will be a Kevin Moss episode. We've been telling you all along, there's no better guy for which you to try and squeeze by a little Squeezers reference. He would appreciate it.
Yeah, if
so
you're
call
listening
in and
to
do that.
If you're listening to this, as soon as it comes out, you got a couple of days. Call in, say something about little Squeezers.
But not directly. Again, bury it in there. Maybe even somebody in the background makes the reference for you. But however it needs to get done, let's brighten Kevin Moss's day with a little offhanded reference to little Squeezers.
Yeah, imagine how good you would feel if you made Kevin Moss laugh. You know? Just call in and do it.
It'll sound like that.
Hopefully not. Hopefully it sounds genuine.
No, that's
lovely.
his real laugh. It's not altered digitally or chemically.
So yeah, call in 347-746-JUNK. That's 347-746-5865. Or go to facebook.com/junkfoodinner and hit the call now button. And that's how you can do that.
Yeah. We're not going to stop you because we, in fact, want you to do it.
We love it. So in the meantime, we're going to take a quick break.
Yeah.
And when we come back, we're going to be talking about the message from space. So stick around.
Good job, Cincinnati. You're stupid. We'll be right back.
3, 4, 7, 7, 4, 6, J, U, N, K. 3, 4, 7, 7, 4, 6, J, U, N, K.
You're always asking these fake questions.
Call the gab line. It's a party line.
16 years of fake questions.
Call now. It's a party line. Call now.
Yeah, I don't find it interesting at all.
3, 4, 7, 7, 7, 6, J, U, N, K.
From a captive planet, 2 million light years away, came a desperate plea for help. Message from space. On the verge of extinction, the leader of the persecuted Aleutians sends his beautiful granddaughter to find the 8 legendary brave adventurers who alone can stop the annihilation.
Do you know where Emerald is? You know where Emerald is? What are you doing? No! I'm a human being from the planet Earth!
Never before has the screen erupted with more spectacle, more excitement. Message from space, where fantasies are real and reality is fantastic. An international cast headed by Vic Morrow.
I buried my career in orbit. But Babel won. I can't do it.
It's to see it again. And chosen by the gods.
A phantasmagoria of sights, sounds, and space-age technical achievements that must be seen to be believed. Message from space.
Very good. Very good. And most of those guys are here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, so let's bring them out.
You know what I'd like to do right now?
What was that?
It's okay. Before you close, can we close with Michael Jackson?
That tragic accident to claim the lives of actor Vic Morrow and the 2 children was in fact captured on film by 4 cameras.
I couldn't imagine anything that gruesome.
There's always been injuries, deaths, and that's the name of the game.
Director Landis had asked the pilot to turn left, but as he turned, he lost control of the helicopter.
You see that ledge up there around 20 feet? Well, I think that's going to do the trick. I'll be able to get a good, clear shot of you up there. That's about all the time you got left to live. Of course, if you want to save me the trouble, you can stand up and make a run for it. Chances are about 100 to 1. You don't make 3 steps before I put a bullet through your head. You want to try?
It was a joy to work with him and to be directed by him. He was so superb. He was professional. It was a joy to work with him.
A helicopter pilot who wishes to remain unidentified told Channel 2 News that he was asked to do the flying for this scene, but turned it down. He told director John Landis it was too dangerous. There are no work permits on file for the children who were killed, 6-year-old Renee Chen or 7-year-old Micah Din Lee. They were supposed to have them.
This terror is a direct result of neglect on the part of those parties for the protection of children. The most exploited workers in this state are unprotected children. Our office, if I can say, would never have approved children near explosives. And also, Chopper could also produce an incident. Our office would never have approved children 6 and 7 years of age to be in that area.
You could say, if you wanted to, that if somebody is an actor, what better way to go than on the set?
Federal investigators said they found 3 empty beer cans in the crashed helicopter after the accident.
In reply, Warner Brothers said the little girl knowingly assumed the risk. Renee Chen was 6 years old when she died.
Thriller.
Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand.
This was a flagrant violation of the statutes requiring an employer to provide a safe and healthful place for a minor to work.
I was a little disappointed, and I thought a great deal of it was quite pretentious. And I was very sorry that there was no dedication or any mention made about Vic Morrow.
I know about the controversy, of course, but it really will have nothing to do with whether the film's a good film or not.
John Landis entered court to answer involuntary manslaughter charges growing out of the crash.
Not guilty.
Defense attorney Braun then showed film clips never before seen publicly. The actual crash as filmed by the motion picture cameras.
Clips where Morrow and the 2 children were actually killed.
This court believes that a crime, to wit, involuntary manslaughter, was in fact committed by certain principals on the set during the early morning hours of July 23rd in the filming of the final segment, The Twilight Zone, the movie.
Landis now faces charges of involuntary manslaughter and child endangerment.
What the fuck?
Landis is the first director to be criminally charged in the aftermath of a movie accident.
Landis put explosive special effects before the actor's safety.
Finally, Mr. Landis, with his quest for cinema verite, directed the actors, as it were, including other principals, to demonstrate an effective conclusion to his film segment, which would be both noteworthy and memorable. In achieving such absolutism, he appears to have gone beyond the realm of simple mechanical direction, but in fact set up, among other things, a combination of circumstances which in the final seconds of the filming caused death and destruction. In conclusion, therefore, it is the finding of this court that the defendant Landis must be held to answer to the charges alleged in counts 1, 3, and 5 of involuntary manslaughter.
They're guilty of murder in the first degree.
Don't make me kill your own camera. Ooh, don't make me kill your own camera.
I would really anticipate that something like that brings people out more. I mean, they want to see where somebody gets killed.
Just prior to dying, Mr. Morrow winked at Mr. Landis, saying this is a good scene.
In promoting the forthcoming feature, Warner Brothers Studio avoids all references to the 3 deaths on the set. Scott Osborne, Entertainment Tonight.
I was impressed because you were real nice on the phone. I didn't think you would be nice.
I was nice on the phone?
Very nice.
I think it was the connection.
One fantastic question, John Landis.
Mr. Landis.
One fantastic question, John Landis.
Oh, is there something more you want to say that we haven't covered?
Yeah, I want to say another thing.
Okay,
I
go
love
ahead.
You. I love America. I love everybody.
Well,
I feel good.
It sounds to me as though you're not troubled by any of this at all.
This is a man's world. I love everybody. I love Brother Ted Turner.
All right, welcome back to Junk Food Supper, episode number 50, our big 50th episode. And, I figured we should go big for this big anniversary. And so I picked Message from Space from 1978. This is a fake Star Wars movie directed by Kinji Fukasaku, with fake Star Wars music from Kenichiro Morioka. And it also has the largest production budget in Japanese cinema history up until this point in time, courtesy of Toei Pictures, who produced this. It was the largest budget, actually, until the director Fukasaku's next movie, Virus, which cost even more than this movie, apparently. But if the name sounds familiar, director Kinji Fukasaku, you probably know his name from directing Battle Royale much later than this. But at the time, in the 70s, he was more famous for a series of Yakuza movies he had done called Battles Without Honor and Humanity, or Honor or Humanity, that were pretty gritty and pretty badass for the time. And dude actually did a whole slew of genre pictures across his long-ass career. And this was one of them. This is one that I've been thinking would be fun for us to sit down and watch for a little bit. I had heard of this movie for some number of years, but I hadn't gotten around to watching it at all until late last year when I was putting together those music videos for our YouTube channel. I pulled this one up, and because I figured that this would have some cool visuals in it, and I sat down to watch it, and I didn't get too far into it before I just got completely distracted by all the cool visuals and found myself just kind of cutting through it in Final Cut more so than actually watching the movie. But I watched like some of it, and then just some of it I'm like, let me just go through this space battle scene and find the cool shots of spaceships shooting at each other and shit like this. And so I had always been meaning to revisit this, along with some other movies that I was watching at the time, like Sayonara Jupiter is another sci-fi movie from Japan from around this time that also has some really cool visuals. But yeah, so this one seemed like it would be fun to watch. Basically, the story is Star Wars, but I guess it's also, in a way, the story is kind of like the Magnificent Seven, which, I didn't really think about it until this week, but I guess, the original Star Wars does kind of have that Magnificent Seven sort of a, plot construction where it's all about building the team at first, you're putting together your squad. But unlike Star Wars, where...
Sorry to interrupt, but isn't the Magnificent Seven sort of based on another samurai?
Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I guess it all does loop back to Seven Samurai, and I'm sure that even before that, there were probably other building the squad movies. Maybe Kurosawa was watching even earlier, U.S. Westerns or something to get that idea, but...
Yeah,
it's in that kind of vein at first, this movie. We're putting together our squad, but unlike those other movies in which the squad is put together in a way that, makes sense, where maybe, characters have chance encounters and they get to know each other and, forge relationships that will drive the plot of the movie. In this movie, our squad gets put together by a series of magical walnuts. Did you like these magical walnuts, Bowman?
I thought to myself when they showed them, I said, that's a lot of nuts. Which, of course, is a Kung Pao reference. Okay. That's how my brain works. I thought the nuts were stupid. But they did, in real life, they did remind me of a movie with a similar sort of a thing that I watched recently called Furiosa. There's a similar thing where...
I've heard of that.
Yeah, there's like a fruit nut that kind of signifies, rebirth of civilization, sort of the way it does here, I think. Or it has like magical qualities the way it does here. So yeah, that's what I thought of. But no, I don't know. I thought it was kind of silly in this movie, but everything's silly in this movie, so I don't know.
Well, and who knows, now that you're saying that this sort of a thing was used in another movie, maybe this comes from some, like classic piece of literature, you know, like for all I don't know, in Homer's Odyssey at some point, do they hand out seeds or something? I don't know. It does kind of feel like that sort of mythic thing that was taken from some very old story, you know?
Oh, yeah. Now that you mention it, yeah. The story of Persephone, which I think is Greek. It's either Greek or Roman. I think it's Greek. Yeah, there's pomegranate seeds weigh heavily in that, but I kind of forget exactly why. I think she's like trying to get out of hell and she needs the seeds for something. I forget. But yeah, that's probably the origin of this kind of a thing.
Yeah. Well, so to put it in context for this movie so that the listeners out there know why I'm rambling about magical walnuts. So basically what's happening in this movie is, you know, much like Star Wars, you got this peaceful planet that is represented by a peaceful princess in a white robe. There's also a power-hungry Japanese Vader lording over the galaxy, destroying planets at will. And then, of course, early on, you know, this Japanese Vader does basically a one-man Vietnam against this planet, just wages war. We get all these crazy, like, you know, explosions and things. The movie gets very brutal and very dark for about 30 seconds when, you know, Vader is conquesting this planet. But shortly after this, like, one of the elders or something is like, hey, we got these 8 seeds. I think they call them seeds maybe, but they're walnuts. And he's like, these walnuts are going to find their way to 8 magical, mythical, legendary warriors who are going to help us defeat this Japanese Darth Vader and reclaim our home planet or whatever. And so, you know, throughout the course of the movie, these 8 walnuts do make their way to our, you know, our various heroes. And somehow that is going to unlock their ability to defeat this Japanese Vader and all of his opulent set designs. Which really, honestly, I guess is the reason to watch this movie. And I know that this is a thing that I say every goddamn week on this show, is you got to see this movie for its set design. But man, these space wallpapers, am I right, Bowman?
You are right. The wallpapers are probably the best part. This is the only movie on Earth where the wallpapers are probably the best part.
Yeah, I mean, they really went all out. And it does make you feel like, you know, they maybe spent so many of their Japanese yens on these cool spaceship sets that they completely forgot to replace those walnuts with anything other than a walnut, you know, like they ran out of money at exactly that point where they're like, oh shit, the walnuts. But I'll take it. I mean, in exchange for these cool sets, there's a cool cantina set. You know, it's not as cool as Mos Eisley, but it does have space babes dancing in space bikinis. And that's something, right?
Yeah, that is something. That's also something you can get in Star Trek V.
I've never heard of that. That's like a Star Wars ripoff?
It's
much like this.
No, it's about an undiscovered country, if I remember correctly.
Interesting. But yeah, you got space babes in this. Come to think of it, though, like as cool as these sets are, I do think you get to the end of this movie and you realize maybe that you've only been in like 4 different locations for the entire runtime of the picture. So I guess they did kind of stretch their budget, you know, as much as they could. But it didn't detract from the viewing experience. When I was watching it, I wasn't really complaining about being on these cool spaceships with these weird-ass Japanese Star Wars characters. The other thing that I thought that they pulled off kind of decently well, like I know that we were joking about it before in terms of like they're throwing toys at a black sheet for their space battle scenes. But considering, you know, where they're coming from, the fact that they're making this in 1978, so like I think these people have seen Star Wars in the theaters maybe a couple times, but that's about it. It's not like they're studying this thing on videotape. I guess theoretically maybe they had a print of it and they were studying it and watching it over and over again, but it's not like they really knew how to replicate these effects. And I think if you judge these space battles with anything other than Star Wars that came before it, they're pretty good. They're pretty impressive, you know, for a non-Hollywood production to pull these off. I thought they worked.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're, for the time they're fine until you factor in that this was like the most expensive movie in Japan. Then it's like, well, They could have looked, but
we're talking about a country that, just 30 years before was digging itself out of the rubble.
Well, that's true.
Godzilla -1 style.
That is true. That is true.
Like they weren't spending billions of bucks on these Kamen Rider movies they were making all throughout the 70s.
They should have. Maybe maybe Kamen Rider would be as big as Star Wars is now.
Yeah, maybe George Lucas would be ripping them off.
Yeah, I mean, more so.
He probably did somehow, anyways.
Yeah.
Turns out Han Solo was in a Kamen Rider, and I just never noticed.
Mm-hmm.
But as you would imagine, this movie, Message from Space, does have a Japanese C-3PO who looks pretty much like Robbie the robot. And I guess he actually kind of serves the role of both R2-D2 and C-3PO, but is more annoying than both of them combined. God damn, I hated this robot. He was very annoying.
Yeah.
Just has the most shrill voice of any robot in history. I did like his owner, though, who is, I guess, kind of the fake Han Solo in this, played by Vic Morrow. And I like that he seems to be genuinely in love with his robot friend. As much as I hate this stupid fucking robot, at least Vic's in love with the guy, and I think that's cute. And what else about this? I like how all of these fake Star Wars characters in this are the discotheque variant versions of I could imagine Mattel or whatever making an action figure of discotheque Leia, and it would be exactly this version of Leia with the cool ivy crown that she's wearing. By the way, there are some Street Fighter connections with this movie because that princess is played by Etsuko Shiomi. She was in that first Street Fighter movie, and then she would go on to play Sister Street Fighter. So cool to see her in this. I like her a lot. And Sonny Chiba shows up in this as a fake Obi-Wan, I guess. He's kind of this wizard dude that shows up about halfway through the movie. I don't disagree with our esteemed caller, Mr. Brian, in that this movie is kind of bad. But I do disagree in that I do feel it's very Star Wars-esque. This movie could have only happened in the wake of Star Wars. There's no chance this movie would have been made in 1976 or any time before. And there's just so many blatant attempts to rip off what people liked about Star Wars. And I, for one, am kind of charmed by that. I like a blatant ripoff. This was a trend, for a while, but I feel like Kinji Fukasaku got there pretty early, to be doing this in 78. When I feel like Corman would be making a business out of this for at least the next 5-6 years. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But, besides the Star Wars stuff, there are just some very dumb moments in this. There's a scene in this where one of the characters wants to obtain some radioactive space dust that's flying around in space. Mm-hmm. And so she just gets together with her crewmates and hops out her spaceship and starts swimming around in outer space with no spacesuit on, just skin exposed to the ravages of outer space, just so she can grab some radioactive dust. And it's very dumb. But I kind of like that about this movie. I like that. I like the lizard man with a laser whip who fights a Japanese princess in this. I thought that was cool. I like the psychedelic murals that are in the backgrounds of multiple scenes. I like that Jay Vader has a funny little crush on planet Earth. And I like that the fake Emperor Palpatine has the sickest dragon bone wheelchair you ever saw in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of cool allusions to Don Quixote in this. And I don't know, this is, I think, definitely the kind of movie that is probably more fun with friends. And I'm not the guy that ever recommends this, but I do think that this is a movie that maybe you goof on with your friends for a little fun. Because, as much as it is jam-packed with cool visuals that I liked, it's also kind of repetitive and stupid. And so I think it's fair to goof on this movie just a little bit, as long as you still respect the Japanese. But what did you think about these messages from space?
Well, I respect the Japanese almost as much as I respect the Swedish.
I'm a fan of Japanese movies.
I'm a fan of Japanese movies. And so yeah, I was a little hyped to see this. It's always fun to see other countries' versions of Star Wars. I think we did the Turkish one a long time ago. And also just Japanese science fiction is pretty fun. And then I got pretty hyped near the beginning because this seemed very similar to Aztekizer. Like a lot of the suits are pretty similar, especially Mr. Spiderhead in this, the main bad guy.
Yeah.
So I thought that was fun. A lot of the costumes and stuff are pretty cool. I like those metal dudes. I like Spiderhead guy. A lot of that stuff's fun. And then it kind of like leaves those guys, and then, you know, like that's sort of like I do agree that it's pretty Star Warsy. Like I think this is trying to rip off Star Wars, and I think structurally it's pretty Star Warsy in that at the beginning we get introduced to like the main bad guy, and the plot's sort of similar to that opening of Star Wars where Vader boards Princess Leia's ship and all that. It's like not as action-packed, obviously, but it's a pretty similar sort of scene. And then we jump to, in this, I guess it's more of a Han Solo comparison, but rather than a Luke. But yeah, we jump to those guys, and then you kind of get what they're up to. And then those guys were like really stupid and boring, I thought. And then, I don't know so were like the bad guys. Like the bad guys at least look cool. Like they're kind of boring too, but yeah, I just really didn't like the guys with the stupid walnuts. So yeah, so it was like kind of hard to get into. And then also, I mean, it's like also just sort of like, I mean, it's maybe par for the course with a lot of Japanese science fiction stuff is like, it's pretty incomprehensible. Like outside of just like the idea that, okay, these walnuts are good for some reason. Like a lot of the plot beats are like kind of like hard to figure out a lot of the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's a hard thing. That's a hard thing. Especially when, like, if your movie's like pretty incomprehensible, like sort of impenetrable when it comes to plot, and like sort of like, you know, the world building and the scene setting isn't done that well. It's also like it's very bad then when also like the Wikipedia synopsis of the plot is like 38 pages long, like it is for this.
I also noticed on Wikipedia, and I've never seen this for any other movie, but they've got the full credits for this film on the Wikipedia entry. It's got like subsections for like areas of film production that I didn't even know existed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it seems like there's probably like one guy who's like a super big fan of this movie putting all this together.
Yeah,
on Wikipedia.
And good for him. You know, he's got an outlet.
I'm glad he likes it. But yeah, there's a lot going on in this movie, and I missed so much of it because it's just not told that well. But the action. You did see the visuals, right? So did it matter at all that the plot was incomprehensible? I mean, it could have helped. Because yeah, the visuals were fun. I liked the miniatures. There's a lot of cool miniatures in this. Both ships and like settings and stuff like that. So that stuff's fun, but there's like so much of it that after a while of like these spaceship battles and stuff, it's like it just wears you down because there's so much of it and they're all pretty similar. So like after a while, like I just kind of like even that ceased to wow me. Because it's just like, all right, 7 more spaceships have shown up to explode. Okay, all right. But but they're fine. I mean, like, they're good. Like you said, I mean, you know, if I didn't know what Star Wars was, I would probably think these were pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And certainly it's more...
If you were a Japanese kid that went to the cinema in 1978 and had not yet seen Star Wars, your mind was blown. Don't pretend your mind wasn't blown, Bowman, in this hypothetical.
In this hypothetical, for sure. And, you compare this to Roger Corman, too, and I definitely think that this probably looks a lot better than a lot of Roger Corman stuff. Certainly not all Roger Corman stuff. The science fiction stuff that stole from Star Wars, but a lot of it. This is better than or on par with.
Yeah, and predates it. Like Battle Beyond the Stars is like 1980. Turkish Star Wars, that's like 82. So like I said, 78. You guys did a nice job at emulating a Star Wars.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know. Yeah, if you're not like a big miniatures or Star Wars ripoff connoisseur, then I don't know that there's a lot for you here. Because like the bad guys are fun and they got cool outfits, but you could watch as the Kaiser or like any common riders and get bad guys that look just as cool and then do way better fights. So I don't know. I thought this was pretty boring. I'm sure like the people who are into this kind of thing will love it. Like if you're like into this kind of like post Star Wars science fiction space battle stuff, this is probably right up your alley. But or maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know, because there's a lot of other stuff going on that maybe will bore you. But I don't know. It's interesting, but I don't like it.
All right. I mean, that is fair. I do like this. I don't think that it's great. I think that the story is incomprehensible, and it's almost impossible to take this movie seriously solely based on its walnut-related premise. Like, the glowing walnuts are just so fucking stupid. and there's just a lot of stuff in this movie where you're like, man... You guys spent all this money, the biggest budget in Japanese history, for these stupid fucking ideas? Really? Like, nobody said, like, sit down and rewrite this before we give you all this money? All right. But again, that is what charms me with this movie, is that it is kind of this shameless attempt to very quickly as possible, cash in on Star Wars at no expense, no expense spared. And, the results are variable, but distinct. And I don't think there's very, very, many movies like this, even though in one sense there's 1,000 movies like this, but none of them are Japanese movies from 1978. And the fact that it's both that it's a Japanese movie from 78, which is like my personal sweet spot of everything that I love, and it's a Star Wars ripoff that they actually spent a bunch of money on. I don't know. That charms the pants off of me. I think, as a result, this is one of the more interesting Japanese sci-fi movies, if not fully successful. So if it sounds interesting to you, a Star Wars rip-off from Japan, and maybe you got some friends to come over and laugh along with you, I think you could have a good time with this.
Yeah, I think that would be a better way to watch this with some friends. Maybe have a yuck 'em ups or two. You can talk during the boring parts. I think that would help this movie a lot. And
then you can tell your friends that you have seen it. You know what I mean? Like, that counts as having seen this, and that's really the most important thing, is crossing this off your list.
Yeah, logging it on Letterboxd is very important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
I mean, how else will Sonny Chiba become one of your most watched actors this year if you don't log all these movies I pick on Letterboxd?
Well, true. He hasn't shown up on my list yet. But keep picking his movies, he will.
I got Doberman Cop next week.
Oh, okay. Then he's probably going to get close. Although I did watch all 3 Lord of the Rings movies, so you're going to have to pick 4 if you want him to show up.
Oh, he didn't play Gimli?
No, that would be pretty good, though.
No. I see. He was cut out in the role of Tom Bombadil.
Yeah. Yeah, right now my entire list is Lord of the Rings people. But you can change that, Sean.
I can and I will. I got the power, and I think I got the strength.
I'll even help you out by watching the Kill Bill movies at some point this year.
I feel like you're overdue.
Yeah, it's been a while.
You don't even recall what brand of cereal that gun was hidden in the kitchen shootout scene, do you?
That is true.
You wouldn't even know. Was it Fruit Brute? I feel like it might have been Fruit Brute, but I don't know.
I think it was something fake.
Oh, really? It's like a red apple cigarette kind of deal?
I thought it
was something. I thought it was something from his personal collection.
It might be. I know that there's Fruit Brute in Reservoir Dogs.
Let's see what it is. Oh, it's Kaboom.
Kaboom. Oh,
Kaboom
that's nice.
cereal.
That's good foreshadowing.
Funny. Yeah, that's very funny.
We should do Kill Bill on the show sometime. We haven't done that.
Didn't we?
No, we haven't done the Kill Bills.
Interesting. Kaboom, for what it's worth, was a real cereal.
Okay.
From 1969 until 2010.
That is weird.
I never saw this on the market. Kaboom with its big smiling clown mascot on the box? Huh. Makes an appearance in the Butthole Surfers video for their song Cherub.
Okay.
Kaboom cereal was referenced in the Game of Tones episode of Futurama.
I don't know about that either.
I don't know either, but it just seemed thematically appropriate. Game of Tones.
Yeah.
Based on your love of Lord of the Rings.
I do love that kind
I'm
of
assuming
thing.
that you also love Game of Thrones, right?
I've never seen it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I missed out on the whole phenomenon.
I got good news for you. You got like 5-ish good seasons of a TV show and then 2 that you can fully skip.
That sounds pretty good. I've heard good things. I've heard there's a lot of penises in it.
There's a few.
Well, that's what I like to see in a TV show.
Yeah. If you want to see Jon Snow hang dong, I think we could probably make that happen for you at some point in the runtime.
Okay. He sounds like a cold guy, though. I mean, is he really hanging dong?
There's shrinkage. Yeah, it's a real issue up there at the wall.
Okay. Well, I got something for you next week.
Is it shrinkage related?
Well, could be. It's probably some coldness happening in this.
Okay.
But this week has been a big week for tornadoes. Tornadoes ravaged Chicago, and Twisters is coming out this week.
Twisters is coming out this week.
Twister Part 2, Twisters. You know about this movie?
I do.
So I thought that we would go back in time, talk about where it all began for Twisters. Do a tornado movie from the year 1996.
Okay. And it's 1996, so it's not The Wizard of Oz.
Not The Wizard of Oz. It's called...
It's not a Tasmanian Devil cartoon.
Not at all.
It's not a Texas tornado wrestling match.
No, but that would be good.
I don't know.
It's the hit made-for-TV movie Tornado from 1996, starring Bruce Campbell, Ernie Hudson, and L.Q. Jones.
I love it. I love this idea. I love that it's, again, thematically appropriate. You know that I love when, there's appropriateness in themes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I ever heard of this even. I know that I've never seen it.
I remember it being a thing as a kid, just because I was so clued into Bruce Campbell, but I don't think I watched it when it was on. But I think it's notable for coming out like a week before Twister or something like that. This was sort of like an original mockbuster to kind of capitalize on that.
Okay.
And that's all I know. Bruce Campbell stars in it, though.
And this is easily obtainable?
It is on YouTube in pretty good quality.
All right. Pretty good. That's good enough.
Yeah. So I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a nice time. A nice disaster movie. I'm kind of in a disaster movie mood, so I feel like I might follow this up with more disaster movies in the future, but we'll see how it goes.
I see the tagline on the poster is the very clever line, "Hell has no fury like a twister."
That is pretty clever.
Is that anything? Also, I thought it was hath. I thought we were supposed to be using the old English, HATH.
Yeah, it should be hath.
Yeah, they modernized it.
Yeah,
it's what they do over there at Fox, I guess. Bastardize all of our, famous phrases.
Yeah, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see if the movie bastardizes any of our favorite phrases in our English language.
We can only hope so.
Yeah.
Maybe Ernie Hudson will make reference to his role in Twin Peaks Season 3.
Oh, yeah, there could be. Maybe it's a tie-in. A crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. It's on YouTube, like I said, so watch along with us out there in Junk Food Dinnerland. We'll talk about Bruce Campbell in 2 weeks, actually, because next week, Kevin will be back. We're going to be talking about 3 movies that I'm pulling up now. Satanic, with a K, from 1968. Demon Cop from 1990, and Doberman Cop from 1977. So find those, watch those.
Oh, did Kevin fail to pick a cop movie yet again?
He did.
He thinks just because he's, left us in the dust, living this new life, only a part-time podcaster, that he doesn't have to adhere to themes anymore?
Well, he picked a satanic movie, and my cop's a demon cop, so maybe you didn't pay attention to the theme. Are there any demons in your movie?
Well, I think that we all know that the Doberman is Satan's pet, right?
That is true. I think... So this is a good 2... You're getting 2 theme shows in one episode.
Yeah. Well, 2.5, because again, Kevin still blew it. He, even though you and I are both demonic and cop-like, which really is kind of redundant, I guess. Mm-hmm. He's only demonic,
That's true.
Although, who knows? Maybe Satanic is a guy named Nick who works for the police force. He's Satan Nick.
Yeah, that very well could be. I haven't seen the movie, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That's very
Satan
possible.
Nick, NYPD.
Yeah.
I think that was the original title.
So yeah, that's what we got next week. And then, like we said, we'll be back 2 weeks from now with Tornado. So watch that as well. Watch all of these movies. Go to the Patreon, patreon.com/junkfooddinner, and throw us a couple of dollars. And you can hear us talk about something that isn't a movie. Or is it? Twin Peaks. The ultimate, the final episode will be reviewed here shortly. I think I got to post that here in the next couple days. We're almost to the end. If you've been following along, this is a very big thing. We're going to finally be at the end of Twin Peaks.
It was the only podcast series that was longer in duration than the show it was reviewing.
True.
Although I think that's probably
longer
most
still.
podcasts.
Yeah. We still got theories to discuss
for
the rest of our lives, probably, because that's all I can think about is this goddamn Twin Peaks. So
you got piqued. Your interest was piqued.
It's true. Who could have foreseen this? Not me. But here we are. It's really something interesting to think about.
I liked it.
So go there. Donate to us if you like what we do, even if you don't like Twin Peaks, just which you should like Twin Peaks and you should like hearing us talk about it, but even if you don't, show your appreciation for what we've been doing here weekly for the last 37 years by donating a couple of dollars on the Patreon. Send us some voicemails, 347-746-JUNK. Go to Facebook, like us there, comment on the new episode posts. Go to the Discord. There should be a link. If you join the Patreon, even if it's only for $1, you'll automatically be thrust into the Discord. That's probably the easiest way to find the Discord, or just message one of us and we'll give you the link. That's where we do all of our Music League playing and things like that. So that's a lot of fun. So that's everything. So until next week, this is Parker for Sean saying thanks for having fun. What on earth?
Message from space. From a captive planet 2 million light years away came a plea for help, a desperate message. A phantasmagoria of sights, sounds, and space-age technical achievements that must be seen to be believed.
A human being from the planet Earth!
Never before has the screen erupted with more spectacle, more excitement. Rated PG, parental guidance suggested.
See Message from Space starting Friday at a theater or drive-in near you. See Message from Space starting Friday at a theater. See Message from Space starting Friday at a theater. See Message from Space starting. See Message from Space. 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 See Message from Space.